Hello, this is Rematic and welcome to my second lesson. So, right now we have our main class and we want to create other classes because in Java it works like a communication between classes. So in our project we want to create a dice which will be like a random element to our fight. So if you press // you can create a comment which doesn't influence anything. So if I say create a dice, it doesn't do anything, it's just there. So we want to right click on this package and create a Java class. We will name it as dice. So in a class, you can write attributes to this class. For us, it will be private, which I'll explain later what it means, int, which means a number, and let's call it number side, which means the number of sides on the dice. Next, we want to create a constructor, which is a method. Let's call it a method that will create our dice. So it's public. Public means that we can use this constructor in other classes. So if we want to create a dice here, it has to be public, so it can be used there. It has to be, it needs to has the same name as the class, so dice, parentheses, which can be empty, and curly braces. And so if we use this constructor, we want to number side to be equal to 6. So if we use this, we will create a dice, this class. We will create an instance of this class, an object of dice, which will have the number side equal to 6. How you create an object is, first you need to write name of the class dice, then name of your object. So let's say our dice, and it will be equal to, so we are creating a new object, so new and that dice. So we are using this constructor. We can also create a constructor that doesn't have the default value. So let's give it some input, int number. And number of sides will be equal to the number. Okay, so if you want to use this, we can copy it. It's Control D. You can copy, and let's call it second dice. And instead of this default constructor, we will use our new constructor. So let's say 10. So our second dice will have 10 sides. Okay. So for example, right now we can create a method. So we want to use this method in our main class, which will return the number of sides. So first is public. Next one is the return type. So what we will return, number of sides, which is int. So int. Next, name of the method. It's up to you. So return side. Next, parentheses. If we want to use this method, we don't have to pass any input, so let's leave it empty, and curly braces. So in this method, we will use return, which is what this method will return, and we want to return number of sides. Okay, so we created our objects, and on this object we can use this new method. So we can press our dice dot return sides. So this will return the number of sides. So if we want to see what it returns, we will copy it and let's place it here so we can see it in the log. So our dice have 6 sides. So as you can see, 6. Our second dice has 10 sides, so it should return 10. As you can see, it returned 10. So we created a method. We can create other methods. So for example, we want to throw our dice. In order for that, we have to add attribute. Let's call it again private. And now it won't be a number, it will be a random. Let's call it random. You can see it's red. If we want to make it right, we have to import this class. This class is, if you click right, can go to, and then okay, so random is a class which is already created, so we don't have to create this class, but we can use it if we import it. So let's create a method throw. So it will be public, it will return int, so we want to throw a dice, so it returns a number, and we will call it throw. We don't have to specify any input. Well, it cannot be named throw, and so let's call it throw dice, because throw is another keyword in Java. Okay, so we want to return we will call random, which is the class, and in this class you can write next int. This method will return value in the range which is input of the method. So what is input for us? It's number side. So you go number side. In Java, generally, when you use like almost everything, the Java counts from 0. So the number of sides, which will be, for example, 6, would go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we want to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have to add 1, so it starts from 1 and not from 0. So now we can use this method on our objects. So our dice, throw dice, and if we play it, it should be a number between 1 and 6. Okay, so as you can see, there's a null pointer exception. That means that our random is null. Why? Because when we create a dice, we don't specify the random. So if you add attribute, you have to add it into your constructor. So it will be a new random like that. So yes, also here, random is equal to new random. And with that, we now have a dice with number of sides and also a random, which will be a new random constructor. And it should work now. Okay, so 1, 1, 1. Yeah, that's Well, let's use it on this with 1000 sides. So as you can see, it was like really lucky that we got 4 times a 1. So the program is trying to troll me. As you can see, it works. So we have our dice, which can be thrown, which can return sides, but also if you call it as our dice, you will see this. It's the name of the class and a code for our object of dice. If you want to create your own text for the dice, you need to override a method which is toString. So override means that there's a method which already exists and you can override it to do what you want it to do. Because if you place our dice here, it would automatically use method toString to print it. So if we return, and now we can return what we want. So string, which means a text in Java. So int is number, string is text, and it has a method which is named format. And with this method, we can type anything we want. So dice has, and we can create this as sides and number side. Okay, so what it does on a string, you can use method format, and now in parentheses you can write your text, and this symbol means that it will be replaced with whatever is here. So dice has number side sides. So if we play it again, it should write dice has 6 sides. Okay, nice. So as you can see, our dice is finished. We can use our dice here. We can use methods, and I will explain what public and private means. So private, number of side, as you can see, is used only in this class. But right here, I cannot see our dice. I cannot see like the number sides here. But if I would select public, as you can see, I can see number of sides here. Okay, so if it's private, I cannot see it here. If it's public, I can. But since we don't use it here, it can stay private. Okay, so that's all for today. What is important is this is the way to create a constructor. Constructor is a way to create an object or instance of our class. So you can see here, this is constructor and this is constructor. You can create a method which goes public. Again, if it would be private, I cannot see it here. What is the return type? Number, name of the method, parentheses, curly braces, return what we want to return. This is another method. and override to string so we can see it nicely like this. And in the main class, we created two dices. So it goes name of the class, name of the object we are creating, new constructor, as well as here, and that's all. So thank you for watching, subscribe, like, and see ya.